G'day. If you've been keeping up with PK the weatherman, he's been pointing out some strange weather patterns for December. Wednesday was hot. It got up to around 40 degrees. And then Thursday, yesterday, was just a beautiful day, mid to high 20s. And today, it got as high as 44 and a bit. Well, the temperature gauge in the car, what do you call that, a thermometer or whatever in the car, said it was 45 just an hour and a half ago. At the moment, as we speak, it's 43 degrees Celsius outside. Very strange indeed that we'll have. And then tomorrow's back to mid to high 20s again. But just to give you an idea of how hot 43, 44 or 45 degrees Celsius is, let me just show you a video I just filmed. I just got back in because I just saw this when I popped the car away. Quite sad, really. I went outside to pop the car away and I noticed on the ground this poor little fella. Now, I'm not a big fan of spiders at all, but as you can see, this little fella is kaput. He is no more. And he's not alone. His partner, this one here, also is kaput, is no good. It was cooked in the 44 or 45 degree heat. It usually lives in the fence here. You can see all its web work. All the garden clippings are blown in and made their life a bit more difficult. Sorry, fellas. But yeah, you can see how hot it was. It has actually cooked these spiders out of their home and they are no more. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit sad, really. So 43 or 44 or 45 degrees Celsius is pretty bloody hot. So I am staying inside to avoid it now. I'm not going back out there for a little while. It's not going to get much cooler until like 11 o'clock tonight. It's still going to be 31, which is pretty warm, but it's just not. It's a nice day, 31. It's not a very pleasant night, but it is a nice day. So there, I just wanted to show you that this heat wave was catastrophic if you were a spider living in my fence. And you remember on the 9th of December, I uploaded a video where I asked the question, will you love me tomorrow? Well, today is the 20th of December, so I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ho-ho! I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, good on me. So far, so good. Oh yeah, and you want to see a confused so-and-so with their panties all up in a bunch? Yeah, I thought you would. Check this out. About a month ago, I uploaded a video called That's What I Do for a Living, That's My Day Job, where I pointed out that Michio Kaku is a bullshit artist, a pseudo-scientific bullshit artist, and this poor chap didn't like it.
Wikipedia on Michio Kaku. As part of the research program in 1975 and 1977 at the Department of Physics at the blah 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 at the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton and New York University, he currently holds the Henry Seamet Chair and Professorship in Theoretical Physics at the City College of New York.
Theoretical. Concerned with or involving the theory of a subject or area of study rather than its practical application, like a theoretical physicist. Based on or calculated through theory rather than experience or practice. That's a colloquial use of the word theory. Colloquial is used in ordinary or familiar conversation, not formal or literary. From scientificamerican.com, part of the problem is that the word theory means something very different in lay language than it does in science. A scientific theory is an explanation of some aspect of the natural world that has been substantiated through repeated experiments or testing. But to the average Jane or Joe, a theory is just an idea that lives in someone's head, rather than an explanation rooted in experiment and testing. From Dicklicopedia, A scientific theory is an explanation of an aspect of the natural world that can be repeatedly tested and verified in accordance with the scientific method.
Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method.
Pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience consists of statements, beliefs, or practices that are claimed to be both scientific and factual but are incompatible with the scientific method. Pseudoscience. A system of theories, assumptions, and methods erroneously regarded as scientific. Pseudoscience. A collection of beliefs or practices mistakenly regarded as being based on scientific method.
Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method.
Kaka had a role in breaking the SSFL, Santa Susana Field Laboratory story in 1979.
Citation needed.
The Santa Susana facility run by Rocketdyne was responsible for an experimental sodium reactor which had an accident in Simi Valley in the 1950s. Kaka was a student involved in breaking the story of the leak of radiation.
Citation needed.
Kaka has had more than 70 articles published in physics journals such as Physical Review, covering topics such as superstring theory, supergravity, supersymmetry, and hadronic physics. In 1974, Kaka and Professor some dude of Osaka University co-authored the first papers describing string theory in a field form. Kaka is the author of several textbooks on string theory and quantum field theory. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you're a whole bunch smarter than him. This is truly the age of smarm.
I don't claim to be smarter, and I don't care how many schools he went to or how many papers he has written. I just expect scientists to do science. I'm pointing out that he doesn't do science. He's a theoretical physicist. He said it himself, leaps of logic and guesswork.
In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork. It's guesswork. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
Not science, just storytelling. Now, you can think of it as science if you want. Michio Kaku is a theoretical physicist. He makes shit up and writes shit down, and then this shit gets taught as fact. He is a pseudoscientist. Pseudoscience is a collection of beliefs or practices mistakenly regarded as being based on scientific method. Science is quite simply the scientific method, which validates or invalidates a scientific hypothesis through experiment. If it disagrees with experiment, it is wrong. And if it can't be experimented, science, it's just a lovely story. Science is not by the seat of your pants, leaps of logic, guesswork. Don't be deceived by fancy-sounding just-so stories. P.S. Wikipedia is the arbiter of all truth, eh?
Anaconda Malt Liquor 17, what exactly do you think theoretical physics is?
Just what I said it was just moments ago. It's fancy just-so stories. It's pseudoscience. It's bullshit.
Einstein and Hawking were theoretical physicists as well. What, are you going to call them pseudoscientists too? Shaking my head.
Yes, most certainly. They are pseudoscientists too. Storytellers. Bullshit artists. So, Crutchy, me old mucker, you don't know what science is. Shaking my head.
Pseudoscience.
Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork. It's guesswork. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork. That's what I do for a living. That's my day job.
But on the bright side, I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ho-ho! I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bye-bye, friends.